What if Darth Vader, the most feared villain in the galaxy, master of the dark side, decided to trade his lightsaber for a yoga mat? What if Darth Vader was a yoga instructor? Imagine the Sith Lord leading meditation classes, his heavy breathing echoing through the studio. Inhale, exhale, feel the force within. Instead of destroying planets, he's correcting your posture. Instead of commanding armies, he's guiding downward dog. It sounds impossible, right? But in this story, Vader reveals his surprising 5 secrets of galactic yoga, lessons that turned fear into flexibility, and darkness into inner peace, or something close to it. Stay until the end of this episode of What If Celebrities to discover all 5 secrets of Vader the Yoga Instructor. And while you're here, hit like, subscribe, and join our class, because this meditation is about to get disturbing. The yoga studio is silent. Students sit cross-legged, eyes closed, waiting for peace. Suddenly, shh, shh, that unmistakable breathing fills the room. Darth Vader steps onto the mat. He spreads his arms wide. The first secret of yoga is breath. The students try to follow, inhaling calmly, but Vader's mechanical wheeze shakes the walls. One student whispers, "Is it supposed to sound like that?" Vader nods solemnly. "Yes, this is advanced breathing." The class giggles nervously, but soon they're in rhythm, his heavy breath guiding the flow like a metronome. For the first time, the Dark Lord is not choking enemies, but teaching inner calm. This was his first secret, turning fear into focus through the breath of the dark side. But the students didn't know. The next lesson would test their bodies in ways no Jedi training ever had, and what came next would bend them beyond imagination. The class moves into forward folds, groans, cracks, determination. Vader paces between the mats, cape sweeping like a storm cloud. Flexibility is the path to power. He raises a gloved hand, and without touching anyone, a dozen spines lengthen a full inch. Mats slide, blocks float into position, straps buckle themselves. A skeptical student crosses his arms. "You can't just levitate me into a split. That's not real yoga." Vader tilts his helmet. "I find your lack of flexibility disturbing." He flicks 2 fingers. The student glides gently into perfect alignment, eyes bulging, hamstrings, singing ancient hymns. That's when conflict hits. The studio door slams open. A rival instructor, barefoot, smug, with a clipboard of certifications, strides in. Using whatever that is, violates every safety guideline. Hands-on assists must be mindful and grounded. Vader's respirator deepens. "My assists are extremely grounded." The floor trembles. The rival's clipboard lifts from his hand, rotates, and stamps approved on itself. The class bursts into laughter until Vader overdoes it. Blocks orbit like satellites, straps twirl into lassos, and a ceiling plant swings overhead like a jungle vine. A student yelps, dangling mid-half moon. Control is also part of the practice, Vader admits, lowering everyone safely. The room exhales as one. This was his second secret. Flexibility isn't about touching your toes. It's about letting go of resistance and occasionally being gently force-lifted past your ego. But the rival isn't done. He points to a sign. "No props in the air. See you at the yoga council hearing tomorrow." He smirks. "Let's see if your breathing passes inspection." The class turns to Vader. Will he tone it down or double down? Next, the third secret, and a showdown that could get this studio shut down. The class prepares for balance poses. Vader ignites his red lightsaber. Gasps fill the room. "Do not panic," he says calmly. "This is not for battle, but for balance." He plants the saber upright in the ground, its hum vibrating through the studio. Focus on the blade. Let its light guide your drishti. Students attempt tree pose. One wobbles and nearly falls into the saber. Vader raises a hand, gently steadying them with the Force. The Force is not about control. It is about balance. This was his third secret, using the symbol of fear as a tool for focus. But the class wonders, if he can balance others, can he balance himself? And the next lesson would reveal whether patience was truly part of the dark side. The studio grows restless. Students check their watches, shifting on their mats. One whispers, "When do we get to handstands?" Another sighs, "This is too slow." Vader's breath echoes louder, steady and unshaken. He sits cross-legged, unmoving, cape spread like a shadow. Minutes pass. The only sound is the mechanical rhythm of inhale, exhale. A student groans. "This isn't yoga, it's just waiting," another protests. "But we signed up for sweat." Vader finally rises, towering over them. He lifts a floating coffee cup out of a student's hand and sets it gently aside. His helmet tilts. "Patience," he rumbles, "is the true fire that burns within." The room falls silent. Even the restless ones sit still, following his breath, surrendering to the quiet. This was his fourth secret, teaching that strength isn't in rushing forward, but in waiting without breaking. But the silence wouldn't last. Outside, voices gathered. Parents, children, laughter drifting into the studio, and the final secret would come from the most unexpected students of all. The door bursts open. A group of children rush in, tiny yoga mats under their arms, parents trailing behind. The adults freeze when they see him. The towering figure in black armor, red saber humming softly. The kids, they cheer. "Cool costume!" One climbs onto Vader's mat. Another grabs his cape. A third pokes the buttons on his chest plate. Instead of fury, Vader simply exhales. Slow, steady, mechanical. He kneels. "Very well, today's lesson is yours." He guides them through playful poses. "Downward Wookiee," the kids roar with laughter. "Star pose." Tiny arms stretch wide. A toddler attempts a headstand, topples, and Vader gently lifts them upright with the Force. The studio melts into joy. The parents watch in disbelief. The feared Sith Lord wasn't breaking children. He was teaching them presence, play, and trust. This was his fifth and final secret. True mastery is not power over others, but guiding even the smallest ones with patience. Vader rises, switches, off his saber and bows. The class claps. The children giggle, and for one fleeting moment, darkness feels a little lighter. And now we ask you, if Darth Vader really was a yoga instructor, would you join his class? Comment your answer, tell us which celebrity you'd like to see next, and smash that, like and subscribe, because the Force may bind the galaxy, but here, imagination binds us all.